Hello, friends. Hi, how are you guys? I'm trying something new this time. Okay, can everyone see this in landscape? I think I did it right, so that you should be able to see it in landscape and not sideways. Perfect. Thank you, friends. I also have pulled it up on my computer, so I should be able to see your comments when I'm down working, and that means that I was able to bring the camera up a little bit, so I think you should be able to see more of the page this time. Constantly learning with the Bible journaling periscopes. Great. I hope you guys are all having a really great Friday. Ooh, I see now that there's a slight delay on my computer because I just saw my hands move across. And I was like, my hands aren't there, what? So, okay, it'll just be a little bit behind, I guess. So I might see your comments later than you send them. Just a heads up there. I'm not decide how I feel about this. It's a Bible. Yes, this is a Bible. This is a journaling Bible. I'm not sure if I've ever had anyone who wasn't familiar with Bible journaling. So this is just a form of art worship, a way of kind of interacting with scripture in your Bible using your creative talents. So great. So I thought today that I would do some acrylic, using acrylic paints, and I thought I'd do one a little bit like this background. I'll bring it up so you can see maybe. So this is kind of a hybrid between using a card to apply acrylic paint on your page, and then also layering it a little bit with baby wipes. So for me, like, I don't actually find like the physical Bible sacred. I think that the words in it are sacred, but I mean, obviously, like, plenty of companies out there make a lot of money producing these Bibles. So I don't actually find the printed Bible itself sacred, and so I interact with it in this way, and there's a lot of us that do this. If you're uncomfortable with that, then like this might not be the hobby for you, or the way to interact with God for you. But for me, this is, well, how I interact with God. So yeah, so the outside edges, I get a lot of compliments about these. So you can, I'm so sorry, I'm confused to answer questions. So yeah, so you can buy any Bible. This particular one has margins to make it easier to do something in the margin, but you can do it on any Bible. They also make some Bibles where like the text is on one side and this page is blank. So some people use those, but you can also use like a journal, or just anything you want. So yeah, so for the edges, I just like used tape to kind of like hold this all steady. And then I had a stamp that had this pattern, so I stamped the edges, and then I colored in the kind of rainbow pattern. I am probably going to be getting a second journaling Bible, I think, for my birthday at the end of the month. And when I do, I will probably videotape, maybe Periscope, doing those edges so people can see like the process as it goes. Because I get a ton of compliments on them, and it was one of the first things I did with my Bible before I even like had a blog or anything. So I don't have any pictures of the process. So yeah, so you guys, I'm excited. I'm so excited about the second Bible, you guys. You have no idea. So great. So gonna do a page a little like this. I picked the scripture first. Oh no, I said 1 Samuel in the title, but it's not 1 Samuel. This is Chronicles 28:20. I wanted to use this little card. It says "Be Brave." It's made by Angie of the 1500 Tree Project, and she sells these as an adoption fundraiser. Little journaling cards. So I like to be brave, and it turns out there's a lot of places in the Bible where it says like be strong and courageous, but I really liked this one in 1 Chronicles 28 because David is saying it to his son Solomon. Be strong and courageous and do it. Do not be afraid and do not be dismayed, for the Lord God, even my God, is with you. He will not leave you or forsake you until all the work for the service of the house of the Lord is finished. And since I'm using this card, I'm going to use some blue and green paint, maybe this yellow, we'll see. I use this heavy body acrylic paint. I got it when I first started Bible journaling because it was what other people recommended and I didn't already have any acrylic paint. If you have other acrylic paint, like totally great, like do that. So I'm painting in my Bible. Yes, check out Illustrated Faith. They will explain everything. So heavy body paint I think mostly just doesn't have as much water, so it's a little bit thicker, and you can, it spreads on really easily using a card. If you try to like paint it with a brush, which I made the mistake of doing once without like really watering it down, it will like completely cover all the words. And I do try not to cover all of the words on my pages. Sometimes I do a better job of that than others. Especially when I first started, I sometimes would cover the words, but now like this Bible has kind of become so important to me, like I bring it with me everywhere, and so sometimes like I really do like want to look up a verse, and then I'm always a little bummed if I've like really covered the words, so now I try not to, and I'll show you how with the paint, one way I try to make sure I can still see the words as we go. So when I use this method, I start by just putting a little, I'm trying to think what color, I think I'm gonna start with this blue. Putting a little bit of the paint on, like, this is just an old gift card. They make some, like a tool you can do this with that's called a catalyst, I think. I've seen other people use it. It seems really cool. I actually added it to my wish list, so we'll see if any loved ones buy it for me for my birthday or Christmas. So just gonna add some people on Instagram who do this. They do like a really great job of like leaving some white space, and I sometimes try to do that and then I just always end up failing. So sometimes if I have extra on the card, I'll just use it on the other page, but I think right now I'm just gonna wipe it off. Okay. I'm not sure. Someone's looking for book recommendations, I guess. Maybe try to keep your questions limited to Bible journaling, but it's okay if you want to go outside of that. All right, so here. Oh, maybe they meant the book of the Bible. That makes more sense. I'm so sorry. I thought they were just asking for other questions. Matthew's a good choice. Yeah, there's also like some really short ones if you don't have a lot of time. I'm a big fan of the Book of Ruth myself. Okay, so now we've got this color. Gonna come here. I like sometimes to try to overlap it with the other colors because I think sometimes will make interesting combinations. I try to go sometimes in different directions on the page. Okay, there's that color. I'm gonna come back in with this kind of darker turquoise. All right, here we go. Oops. Sometimes it's hard to get it over here in the edges. You just do whatever works for you. Here we go. All right. There we go. Before I go further, I can tell right here that this blue area, it's a little hard to read. And so I usually will just go in with like a clean corner of a baby wipe and just wipe away a little bit of the excess paint so I can read it a little bit easier. I should have done this right after I did it. It's a little dry, but it still's coming off. You can tell like it's picking up the paint. Probably the wetter the baby wipe is, the easier it is to get, but that's all right. Okay, still have a little bit more paint on this. I might go back in and add a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off so it doesn't stick. This is like my little mat underneath to keep it off the back pages. A little bit of blue right there. Okay, so now that I have covered up the whole page, like you could stop here if you wanted to. Something I like to do, I'm gonna actually get a new baby wipe. Something I like to do is now add a little bit more depth and layers by taking, you know, maybe one of the colors I used at first and going back and adding a little bit, so I just put a little bit in the corner of this baby wipe, and then maybe just like blending it a little bit in elsewhere on the page. Usually I don't let it be like too heavy, but I just kind of like that look of like light streaks. This will usually look better kind of with like if you do a lighter color over darker color. So I'm gonna try this lime green on top of some of this blue. Here we go. Ah, this place, I need to get it to stay. There we go. That'll be better. And so also sometimes it can be a little heavy, so then you just use a cleaner ass part of the baby wipe. Now I'm going to try some of this darker green again. Sorry, maybe I should be talking as I do this. Just thinking about it, what I like about it, what I do different. A little bit more green down here, I think. Why? Oh yeah, you can use baby wipes or a wet paper towel. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer, which is a few seconds behind. I used to use a wet paper towel, and then like saw a different technique you could do with baby wipes, so I just bought a pack, and then I was like, oh, I bet this will make things a lot easier because the baby wipe's already wet. So this is why I use a baby wipe. I never had a problem with wet paper towel and residue when I used to use it to do this or to blend gelatos or something. But, you know, that was just my experience. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more of this here. You can see there's a wrinkle in the page. So oh, a couple wrinkles. Try not to let that happen. Those with the, there we go. I just can't decide if I want to keep trying things. I mostly don't love like how thick this blue is, but that was my own fault when I started. I might add a little bit of yellow and see how that goes. Sometimes you just have to keep you know, adding color till you're happy with it. Kind of giving it a more distressed look. Okay. All right, and so I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but I can still like read all of these words clearly, and if I couldn't, I would go back over them with, here, maybe I'll get this one since this is where our verse is. Yeah, there we go. Great, okay. So this like paint dries real fast, but I will now like just put a paper towel on it, and let it, here, didn't get it quite all the way over. Let it sit for a minute or two. Just sometimes with a baby wipe, like the page has gotten a little bit more wet. And so it is good to let it dry before you start trying to write or stamp or something on it. Any questions? So yeah, I mean, obviously, like I don't have a super artistic technique or anything. I just go for it. Where's your cover from? I made this with fabric. I just bought fabric at Joann's. Oh, here you can't see on the front because I covered it up. But on Joann's, and then got spray adhesive and then just stuck it on with spray adhesive. So obviously this isn't the most beautiful thing, and for a long time it's how the front cover looked. I don't prep the pages with gesso or anything before I paint. Like these paints especially like aren't really that wet, so they're just gonna sit kind of on top of the page and not leak through or anything. I mean, there's some things I've done that probably might have been better with gesso, or I think it's gesso, right? Gesso, I don't know. But life's too short. I just go for it. And if things bleed through, I will just take care of that when I do the back side of the page sometime. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to clean my hands of all the paint so I don't get paint everywhere when I go to do the rest of the page. All right. How are y'all doing for time? Would you like me to keep going and finish off this page? We can also just call it a day. I don't know how y'all are feeling. I'll show you, I can try to show you, sorry, put my water bottle elsewhere, how this looks, and then, so yeah, so here, I mean, it's like a teensy bit sticky maybe, but like not wet at all, like nothing is gonna come up, and like, this is what the back of the page looks like. So, you know, like it really, the only thing that came through was kind of like a little bit of extra paint here at the top and the sides from where it probably got stuck to my mat. Like if I really, really cared, I'm sure I could take a baby wipe and get that off right now, but I don't. All right, people still have time before dinner. Excellent. Well, feel free to drop out if you get bored at any point. I'm gonna clean off my little mat real quick. Yeah, it will be on YouTube. I should be saving it, and then I can upload it to YouTube, and I'll put it on my blog. So I sometimes use I don't ever use a blow dryer on these acrylics because it goes real fast. I have occasionally used a blow dryer or a heat gun when I've done watercolors or something with like water soluble paint. That sometimes I feel like really wrinkles my page, and then sometimes I feel like it doesn't. So I'm not sure what the X factor is with why it wrinkles. So I don't always do that. I will say what I do for watercolors is almost exactly the same thing. Like I put a paper towel down this side, and I put a paper towel down on this side for watercolors, and then close the book, let it dry, and then come back and finish the page. If you search my name, Arden Ratcliff-Mann, you'll find my YouTube. It's also, it'll be up on my blog, which is ardenratcliffmann.com. And there's a link in my Instagram profile, which is Arden_Elise. So the same name as Periscope. So hopefully you can find it. I have a kind of unique name, so. Although I did the other day, so sorry, aside. Arden is like my great-grandmother's maiden name, kind of a weird first name. And the other day I just thought, well, I'll just Google Arden Elise, which is my middle name, and found out that there are like babies who have this name now. And I was really, really excited. Like there are people out there on Instagram who weren't able to get Arden Elise. There are other Arden Elise like 265s. So that was pretty exciting for me, person with a weird name. Okay. So what do I want to do with this page? So I am not a letter person. I have attempted it a couple times, mostly when I've been like stuck on a plane and I'm like, well, I can have several hours to kill. Let's practice writing this and erasing it and writing and erasing and writing and erasing it. So I'm sure that's one of those things that I could get better at if I practiced, but I just haven't had the time to really improve. So I use a lot of alphabet stamps. So let me show you some of my favorites right now. So if you watched my videos before, you know I've done this before. So I really like these. These have both a solid version and a hollow version. And the hollow is really great because you can go over, if you're trying to like spell a long word, you can go over the text and still be able to read the text through it. So I use those a lot. These are these big ones from the Illustrated Faith Etsy store. I really like these because I just think they look super cool and awesome. They, like, probably the most reasons I've ever covered up text has been because I've been using these stamps, because they are pretty big and so it's kind of hard to ever fit a full word in this little margin using those, but I still use them because I love them. These are new in the Illustrated Faith Etsy store. In April of Marine Parents designed this alphabet, and I can already tell I'm going to use it all the time because I love it. It's also like in a good sweet spot, kind of like a little smaller than other alphabets I had, so I think that I'll be able to use it and fit more words in the margin. I also love that she included the capital G, so you can spell God, which is always my problem with lowercase alphabets. Like this one, like lowercase g, why? And then I have not used these in my Bible a whole lot, but I was thinking about today. These are these little hexagon alphabet stamps. I got them to use in my planner, but they're really, really cute. And I think that if I had like a shorter word, I could fit it here in the margin. So we'll see if we can make use of those today. And then the other alphabet stamps I use are these wooden ones by Amy Tangerine. And there's a little bit more guesswork with these because you can't quite see where you're stamping. And they're not acrylic like the others, but these are like also like kind of a good size for Bible margins. All right, so let's look at our verse. So David said to Solomon, be strong and courageous. And I have this be brave. So I definitely think I'll do be strong. I might do courageous. I might change that to brave. Courageous is gonna go like super into the margins. So let's actually start with these big ones. We can make our B out of that. And that should fit, which is great. And so you can put these like all together on a separate, like on one long big block, but I've actually found that I can fit them closer together if I do them one at a time on this little block. So you're gonna have to wait for me to do that. But there's only 2 letters today, so I always feel like waiting for me to stamp has got to be the most boring part of these videos, so I'm really sorry. All right, so if you've never done acrylic stamps, you just peel them off here and put them on a little block to use. See, sometimes people ask about that on Instagram. Okay, so here, I'm using, should I say, Stays On jet black ink. This ink is great because it does not bleed if you were gonna like watercolor or something. I wasn't doing that today, but it's just the black ink I have now, so. What else was I gonna say about it? It also, the great thing about these acrylics is that they, ooh, I missed a question. I'm so sorry. If it was a question, maybe it was just a comment. Okay. So sometimes when you've just, like, if it's still a little tacky, it won't transfer all the ink, so it takes a second try. The good thing about this acrylic paint too is that it forms a really great barrier for your page, so like nothing will leak through. There is a problem sometimes when you first get stays on ink. If like your pad is really wet, we might just have to go back and color that in with a pen at some point. If your ink pad is really wet, there sometimes is a problem. What am I trying to say? There is a problem with it bleeding through really bad. So when you first get, if you first get a stays on, it sometimes is a good idea to like stamp once on a fake piece of paper and then stamp the second time in your Bible. Okay, let's see if we can make this E go a little better. Oh yeah, excellent, first try. We must have just hit a little wet spot right here. Might go back and work on that in a minute. Okay, I think that I'm gonna use these new stamps for strong. When I'm working on a page on this side of my Bible, I usually will spell the word backwards if I can't fit it like all on my block, so that I know I'm gonna have room for it all. Like sometimes if you like start here with the S, like you can run out of room and then be a little sad. So that's what I'll be doing right now. Though when you're trying to spell a word backwards, sometimes it is easier said than done. Sometimes I am like desperately like looking at the Bible page being like, is that how you spell strong? It doesn't seem right. Okay. So, oops, here that end didn't get enough ink. There we go. Do that again. Yeah, in real life I would probably wait for this page to dry a little bit more before stamping on it, just because I am having a little bit of trouble getting my ink to transfer. But you know, this is live, so I don't want to make you guys wait. There might be a way to buff the page at some point. Not sure. RTS. Oh, here, I think I can get this. I'll put this T down first, and I can get this R underneath of it, and then these will be a little closer together, less into the words. There we go. So, you know, it's a little bit over the words. I can still read it through it, and that's not going to bother me. I think maybe for the "and" I'll use those little hexagon letters. So, little stickers like this are sometimes good for and these and other little articles. I keep these around mostly for that purpose. So what was I looking for? There are the hexagons. Staying organized when you're doing this live is another thing. Where do you find the letters? So a variety of places. These ones that I just used came from the Illustrated Faith Etsy store. So you can check there. These ones I bought at Joann's. I'm sure they have them similar things at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, whatever's in your area. And then these little hexagon ones I got online at a, it's called StudioL2E.com. Okay, so I was going to spell out the word "and." There's the N. When I use these in my planner, I will sometimes use them with like different fun colored ink. But I feel like for this page. Since it's not white, that might be a little much. So we'll just stick with black here. There we go. Ooh, I kind of like how that wasn't like super dark, so, but you can easily still read the letters. And then, so courageous. Do we do be strong and courageous? Should we do brave? I guess I'll do courageous because they do say that a lot in the Bible, and I like that, although I'm sure in other translations it could easily be brave. We'll stick with it for now. So I'm going to use, since courageous is definitely like going to be super long and go into the margin, I'm going to use these hollow ones for that. All right, and we're going to spell it backward as well, which is going to be a challenge. All right. I am so sorry. I know that watching me do all of these alphabet stamps is so boring. My page does not have gesso on it. I've never prepped any of my pages. I don't have gesso. And I've never really felt like I needed it. Sometimes stuff will like shadow through, but usually it's fine. I show like this, you know, is like you can't see any of the letters or any of the paint. I will say that like acrylic paint usually does form a good barrier to the ink so that it doesn't bleed through. I can show you when I finish an example of a page where I just like it was a perfect combination of my ink pad being new and like super wet with ink, and then of stamping just like onto the plain white page, and it bled like real bad through it. I actually never even really finished that page because I was just kind of taken aback by how everything I had tried on it was not working out for me. Maybe someday. All right. That is how you spell courageous. Backwards. Oh, my U moved, so you have to be careful with that. I've used these stamps a lot, so they're not as clingy as they once were. All right. There we go. Oops. There we go. Up real quick. Ooh, I've never tried putting the thin foam under, but that is a great suggestion. Thank you. I bet that would help. I will say that sometimes if it bothers me that that like the letters aren't, I will go back with like a pen and trace them. Like, I think I'll definitely go back with a pin and like add a little bit here. That is bothering me, and the N is bothering me right now, but I usually wait till the end. All right. Okay, we've almost finished this word. I'm sure you thought it would never happen. Finally there. I've also found that like for my personal Bible journaling style, like I really like bright and colorful pages. So I like will almost always like have like a page like totally of color and then right on top of it. That's mostly because like I can't draw anything. I don't really consider myself an artist. I consider myself a crafter. And I also like just like bright colors in general. So in case you're ever looking at my Instagram feed and thinking, oh, I've never seen her draw a bird or anything, it's because I can't, and I just prefer to make a statement with my bold colors. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with be strong and courageous. I think I'll skip the do not be afraid and do not be dismayed because I'm not sure I'm gonna have room. I think I'm gonna say for the Lord God is with you. And I think that's how I'm gonna finish it. I think I'm gonna go back to these stamps for the 4. I do have to be really careful with these because the O and the Q look so much alike. I've done that before. Okay. The 4 on this time. Oh. These stamps are a little new, so they sometimes will stick to the page more than they stick to the acrylic block. They're just sticky on all sides. And like if I was trying to fit more in and like wanted them to touch, I could have stamped them individually. But I like how there is a little bit break between the letters here. That looks pretty good. All right. So I'm just trying to space out and make sure I'm gonna have room for all of you. So for the Lord God is with you. Maybe I'll just say for God is with you. For God is, okay. I think I might do that because that means I don't have to figure out how I'm gonna do the, because I don't really want to do it in the same way. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do God, and I was gonna do them in these big ones, but the G is not capitalized, and that bothers me just a little bit. I know a lot of people probably don't have this problem, so I think I'll use these ones since there's 2 G's and one's little and one's big. This G down. Ooh, I'm gonna have to make this fit all on. It's not, there we go. That'll be better, okay. Okay. Do I want it like that? Sorry, I'm having a existential design crisis. Maybe I will just put will the D fit now? Okay, I'm gonna have to do the D separately. That G and that D do not want to go together. The G and the O don't want to go together very well in this set. Okay. You guys have me wondering now if I have like any craft foam in my house and if I could use that for stamping in the future. I might have to go make a special run to Target, or not Target, Michael's probably. All right, so now I think I will do, I think I'll do the is using these letters. I do clean my stamps. I'm kind of like doing it off camera. I have this Hampton Art stamp cleaner, and then this like very old Hampton Art stamp scrubber cleaning pad, which you can tell that they have switched their logo since this was bought. I've had this for a long time. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't clean their stamps, and I'm sure it's fine. I just was like, when I was like into card making, I cleaned my stamps all the time, and so now I'm kind of, it's just what I do. All right, so I'm gonna do this, I think I'm gonna do this, with these, and now all my verbs are in the same letter, so accidental parallelism there. Yeah, you can use the wipes to clean too. I actually bought the stays on, so I had some like old, I don't even know, maybe Ranger ink stamp cleaner that I used for years and years and years and years, and then I ran out of it, and so I just bought the Stays On stamp cleaner because I was like, oh, I use Stays On ink. And then it turned out that that stuff like stings your fingers. I don't know what it uses to clean your stamps. It's some kind of very, very intense chemical. And I just couldn't handle it. So I bought the Hampton ink, which is a lot safer, I think, for fingers. Like, I don't know how you could possibly clean your stamps and not like get it on your fingers. Like, you know, you're pulling them off all the time. Anyway, so I guess if I ever want to do like a deep clean on some of my stamps, I might get that out and wear gloves or something. But some people might really like it. I could not handle it. I was just like, my fingers sting. Okay, so now I need to make with you. So maybe I'll do the with the hexagon stamps, and then maybe the U with this. I could do it with this too. We'll see how much room we have after we make the with. Sometimes I like, you know, try to keep my stamp sets consistent in my pages, and sometimes I just use like every single stamp set I own. It just depends on what I'm spelling and how it's going that day. Here, okay. This is not fitting this way, but I feel like we can fit it if we go diagonal. There we go. I have like a much bigger acrylic block, but it's so much bigger that I find it really unwieldy. So I try to use this little one as much as possible. Okay, so this should fit exactly there. Oh, they're all, none of them are gonna, there, okay, that H came off. All right, I might go over that I again. Here, let me clean them first, and then we'll go back and hit the I. Well, maybe I won't. I'm like worried now that if I double stamp over these, I'm not gonna ever be able to line it up exactly. And these are so narrow and small that if you don't line it up, you're gonna like completely lose that little letter I. So I think I'm just gonna live with it. I can maybe go back with a pin if I really want to. All right, and then we just needed the U. Trying to decide what will fit there. Should I do, oops, should I do these ones? That Y, so that Y will definitely fit. Anybody else have a feeling? What do they think? These ones I think would fit too. Design questions. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with these ones because they're new. And then that leaves courageous as the only one with that letter set. Maybe I wanted to use the U though. Maybe I want to use the outline for the U, and then it'll really stand out. Because I think that is an important part. Sometimes it's the question of like trying to decide what you think is the most important part of the verse. And I think the idea that like God is with you, particular, not just everyone. Like when I go back and look at this page, I want to like be reminded that I should be strong and courageous because God is with you. Oh my gosh, use the heart for you. Oh, that's such a good idea. Oh. Yeah, okay. Good idea. We're changing our mind. Man, I should crowdsource my decisions more often because that was a great one. I'm sorry if you made it like 2 minutes ago and this video was just a slightly behind that I'm watching. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Back to this set. So, where's the heart? There's the heart. Heart. Do we want to put it lower? How's the U look? Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one individually so that I can get them kind of all even. So here's the Y. Clean that real quick. And then the heart. I just used this heart for the first time in my planner actually this week. I thought it was so cute. I'm gonna overlap with that Y, I think. So it looks like this heart is just part of someone's handwriting. Maybe we'll go over the heart one more time there. Yeah. And then just gonna grab the U. Yeah, no, this was the best idea. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, All right. Nice. Okay. So great. So finishing touches now. We've got most of it ready to go. So let me grab a pen real quick and I'll show you just how I'm going to fix that bee that's bothering me. Oh, maybe I'll show you the different types of pens I like. So my favorite pen to use is the Illustrated Faith Precision pen. This is a 0.35 lead, and I use that almost always. But then I also have this set of pigment liners, and that has like a 0.7, which is pretty big. But I think since some of these letters are a little bigger, then maybe that's what I should use now. And oh, sorry, I feel like I'm putting my hair in the ink, so I'm gonna close that up. There we go. And so, yeah, sometimes if I don't want it to look like I've just got a bunch of, I'll just kind of blend it a little bit there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my fingers because they've got black all over them. And I'm going to fix this end too because it's... There we go. Okay. All right, the rest don't really bother me that much, just those ones were kind of annoying. Okay, great, so I'm gonna date it. I use this, I think it's an American Crafts. I think that they're supposed to be for weddings because it has things like Big Day and Best Day Ever on the side, but I never use any of those. I usually just turn it to like one of the squiggles or something. Oh, I should make sure the date's right. It is the 9th. There we go. Okay. And I usually put my dates here at the bottom on top of the little notes. All right. Might put like one line right here. So this is obviously a 9 and not an 8. Perfect. And then I was going to put this in, this little card. So I'm trying to think if I want to put it up here. I mean, then it's kind of covering my, my passage I was looking at. But that might be the most logical place for it. Decisions. I think I'm going to put it down here for now, and then I might go back and move it later. So let me grab a green thing of washi tape. Usually try to tear it off so that it's a little bit shorter than the card itself. Put some right there. And then, all right. Right here. All right, so now I can like lift it up and still read the words under it. And then once it is closed on it, it'll flatten out a little bit more. And then I need to put some kind of tab. I'm thinking I'm gonna use some ribbon. I used to make almost all of my tabs out of washi tape, and I have some, you know, like nicer tabs. No, sorry, this is in like the world's most crinkly bag. Green or blue? I think I'll do the blue. It's a little bit more contrast. Let me find my scissors. Sorry. Those were not within. Oh, thank you, friends. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry, you probably thanked me like a million minutes ago and I just thought. No, thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing this because, you know, I would love to do it live with friends, but I don't have that many friends who are interested, and so it's so fun to do it online with people who are as well. Yes, you can journal on the backside of the tip, and I've done that before, and I probably might go back and do that again, just because like the idea of like being courageous and brave has really been on my mind a lot recently. My husband and I are gearing up to move like sometime in the next 6 months, and so just like the whole idea of having to search for a job and move to a new place, like all of that is a little overwhelming right now. So I've really been like praying to God a lot for strength and courage, because I'm a little bit more of an introvert, and like meeting new people is a little scary. Anyway, so this is just a tiny attacher. You could use a regular stapler. There we go. Great. And this ribbon was all given to me by somebody in my church who works for a travel agency, and they used it to mark their bags when they would travel with groups. And I guess they just didn't need it anymore. I don't know. So I got all this ribbon, and I've loved using it as tabs. It's been great. So if you've got ribbon lying around. Anywho, so great. Thank you so much, friends. This was super fun. Thank you for all of your input and design help. I will post a finished product picture on my Instagram, maybe tomorrow. I usually try to take my pictures outside, and the sun is going down, so I'll see if I still have enough sunlight. But yeah, that'll be up on my Instagram, and then I'll also get the video of this uploaded to YouTube, and then have a link to it on my blog when I blog about this page. So yeah, so thank you all so much, and I will definitely do another one of these. I don't know, probably sometime next week, although if I'm my husband has been working a lot on the weekend, so if he's working tomorrow, it might be tomorrow. Don't feel like you have to tune in, but thanks so much. All right, y'all have a really fun Friday night. Bye.